In this video, we're going to look at questions where you're not given the scale on the frequency density axes of the histogram and you have to work it out from information in the question. This will enable us to complete partially completed frequency table and partially completed histogram questions, and then we'll look at how we find the mean from a histogram. So again, this is on a note sheet which you can print off or you can copy it into your notes books. So you can see here that we're given a partially completed histogram and a partially completed table, and there's no scale on the frequency density axes. So the first thing we're going to do, which we're going to do to all histogram questions, is add the class width and the frequency density columns. So I'd like you to add those to your table now. And then we're going to use the group. There'll always be one group that you're given where you are given the frequency in the table as well as being given the bar. Okay, so you'll see for the first two groups, you've got the bars but no frequency in the table. For the last three groups, you've got the frequency in the table but no bar. But this group, 50 to 60, I'm just going to put a circle around it here, we're given both. We're given the frequency in table and the bar. This is what I call the key. This is our key to unlock our frequency density scale, and this is our starting point. So if we fill in the class width for this group, which is 10, we can work out our frequency density. Remember, frequency density is frequency divided by class width. So we've got a frequency of 8 divided by a class width of 10. So my frequency density is 0.8. That enables me to label 0.8 there on my frequency density scale. And I can then, from there, fill in the rest of my frequency density scale. So I must have 0.2 here, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, and then 1. So now that I've done that, I can go back and I can fill in what I can of the table. So I can fill in all the class widths. For the first two rows, I can get the frequency density. I can now read those from the histogram. So for the first bar, I've got 0.4, and the second bar, I've got 0.5. Now, I'm just going to draw out my frequency triangle. My histogram triangle, sorry. So I've got my class width and my frequency density. So if I want the frequency, remember that's the area of the bar, I'm multiplying my class width and my frequency density together. So I've got 5 times 0.4, so that gives me a frequency of 2. And then for the second one, 5 times 0.5, well that's the same as, 10 times 0.5, that's the same as half of 10, so that gives me a frequency of 5. Now for the last three rows of my table, I want to calculate the frequency density so I can draw in my bar to the right height. So looking at my histogram triangle again, I've got my frequency density is equal to frequency divided by class width. So 9 divided by 10 gives me 0.9. 4 divided by 10 gives me 0.4, and 2 divided by 20, well that's the same as 1/10, so that's 0.1. Now we can use these to draw in our bars. So for 60 to 70, I want to go up to 0.9. Obviously you can use a ruler. For 70 to 80, I want a height of 0.4, and for 80 to 100, I need a height of 0.1. So we've been enabled to do the frequencies that are missing in the table and the frequency densities, so we could draw in the final bars to the correct height. I want you now to find the partial table, partial histogram questions and to complete those, please.